Welcome my friends back to Marvel Snap. Jean Grey has become one of my all-time favorite cards ever since she released. She's been winning in everything that I have placed her into, and I am especially in love with this list up here, elevating the Guardians Mojo from complete obscurity into a meta-capable deck. Let's break it all down. Jean Grey is the linchpin of control that allows the enabling of a lot of the other cards here. 3/3 ongoing. Players must play their first card here each turn if possible. We have so many tricks here to be able to manipulate the situation into our advantage, either being able to fill the location early ourselves with little cards, and possibly Jeff, who has the flexibility then to move away on a later turn to let us still play in or just divert power. Jeff gives us so much flexibility in being able to play around the Jean Grey lane. So does Kitty Pryde, a cheap drop to be able to line up, and then we can put our combo pieces elsewhere to be able to get more power on those other lanes where the opponent could be struggling to be able to match us. Alternatively, we can play to be able to stack power on the Jean Grey lane with tools like the Star-Lord, the Gamora, and the Rocket Raccoon, who all come out above tempo, and with the guarantee of knowing that the opponent is playing to the Jean Grey lane, they are so consistent to be able to score. And the rest of our deck is just solid, cheap efficiency. Angela being able to synergize with the Kitty Pryde. Nebula loves actually playing away from the Jean Grey lane. You set up the Nebula on one spot and then Jean Grey somewhere else to be able to make it that much harder for the opponent to be able to match the Nebula scaling. Mojo alongside Jean Grey, also when you know that the opponent is filling their side of the lane, is so efficient. A 2/8, you kidding me? I was happy with Star-Lord at a 2/5, but Mojo's even better. And then being able to transition Kitty Pryde away, the Shang Chi to be able to have that control if the opponent has dropped something large on the Jean Grey lane, or if they're going somewhere else, we'll be able to match them there. It all comes together quite nicely. Jumping into our gameplay here. Dream Dimension. Alright, I'll just open up Nebula. We've got the Jean Grey, we've got the Angelo, we've got the Jeff. We're looking for whatever help. Alright, well, Kitty's going to be able to dance around us quite well. We'll see if we're still able to out-efficiency our opponent. I think I go Angela on right. I would love Kitty of my own. It's just going to keep on playing to stuff the Nebula. As we're dictating their play location. If I could have known, Nebula on Orcus Forge is quite nice. They are bounds. I mean, so am I, but I don't have Kitty in hand. So what if I just say we're both gonna play with max Sentinels for the rest of the game? There's something hilarious about that, right? Right? Like, they won't be able to do tricks with bounce returning a number of cards. They could just be the Sarah version and then not mind so much, but it's evil, but that's what Jean Grey is here for. Next mansion, who gonna win? Lady Sif kills my Sentinel, fantastic. Brood takes up a lot of their board space, also fantastic until they end up being Sarah 3s, the Surfer. Alright, now here come the funky tricks. The funky tricks are that I can play Jeff to any location. Honestly, I might want the Sentinel though, to be able to have something proactive to do next turn. I still like Jeff to Angela because he can move aside. But what if we like Ham? The order is always Ham first, then Iceman, and then we'll go Jeff over here to the side. I like this. I do. What do you want to set up mid? You're Shuri. You were Shuri, Kitty, and you just lost Shuri. That's huge for us, right? That has to be huge for us. Here's Sauron. How many cards in hand now? 6? That's 7. They're max hand size. They have to play here. That'll fill it in. They could quite likely be looking at Kitty just sticking to the board even. It depends a little bit on what they're going to play here, but they could be in a very rough spot. And hopefully with Dream Dimension, it will stretch them even farther for being able to get a card to stop Nebula scaling. I'll throw down the Mojo. It's so unlikely that Mojo actually scores, but he's only 1 point behind the Sentinel anyway, that you might as well reach for it. Aim for the moon. That way, even if you miss, you go into orbit. Kitty again. Sentinel to hand. Lizard. Kitty sticks. They get no card draw. Nope. Kitty comes back. They get no card draw. Okay. I play Star-Lord for 5. Sentinel. Move Jeff. That takes me up to 9. Play here to be able to get the extra buff on Angela. Takes me to 11. You have Kitty and a bunch of Sentinels. You've also Sauroned out your hand. You could have Ebony Maw. You could have... Like, his best play is going to be Ebony Maw, Typhoid Mary, Kitty, all together this turn. That probably beats me. Anything else? I think our blanket pressure is going to be good enough. If he focuses mid and left, he could still edge us out and just, like, abandon the X-Mansion, but I flip first, so the Shang-Chi's not worth anything. They also did the spread. Hang on. Got him. Did they have to revert to playing just Sentinels themselves? Is this where we come out gloriously ahead? Or is the Typhoid Mary 1 point too small? 2 points too small, and then the Kitty Pryde does win her lane, but we take the dub. That was very close to what I said was their best possible play. Hang on. Yeah, if they had... If at 0 had actually been Ebony Maw, that would have been the win for them at 4 points higher. But they didn't quite have the highest of high roll to be able to match. Once more into the breach, we got the opening Kitty. Always love to see that Jean Grey in hand, a number of other ones. We have so many 1-costs. That could actually be an argument for running like Hazar instead of... you cut Iceman, I suppose. I think Spider-Ham, Nebula, Kitty, and Rocket are all very core to the deck's identity right now. Go Kitty. Do I have anything I want to sacrifice to Vormir? Not particularly. It would be like Spider-Ham. I'm wondering if the Iceman needs to go now to give me that location flexibility. Sure. Can't count on top decking the Ham, so here we go. Flip. Ice him. Go. Invisible Woman. This is where Jean Grey shines oh so brightly. Do you hear that, chat? The sound of my opponent's screams as they have to play away from the Invisible Woman and into Vormir for the rest of the game. Snap, snap. We snap on them. Who knows what's behind the Invisible Woman? Invisible Woman just an incredible tech card. I think that she is surging in popularity, but I think that she is still underutilized. She's good just all day, every day. Juggernaut. The Juggernaut surprises me a little bit. Was not expecting them to throw that. We'll throw Star-Lord. I want to keep on scaling up the Kitty. I wonder if I need to play Rocket now? Sure. Eventually getting Mojo on Onslaught would be massive. I mean, plus 12? Sign me up. I just go here. They armor out. Armor, Invisible Woman, Jug. This is a Cerebro 3 deck. Which, if I have been able to successfully prevent them from playing the Cerebro himself onto Onslaught Citadel, this is going to bode well for us. What also bodes well for us is potentially bricking. They do run some more expensive cards. Anyway, we'll go for it. Do I want to show I feel like I've got to show Mojo now. Probably not going to get a good Shang Chi target unless... Still Cerebro 3s. Still Cerebro 3s. Still Cerebro 3s. If they'd shown... There it goes. Final turn. Back to us. They have to play on left. Oh, wow. Where's the dub? Gamora should be able to carry this home. Kitty on right. Up to 10. It depends on if they have both or not, and if they're able to play the Cerebro and then the Mystique on Onslaught. Like, I'll just lose in all situations. They do flip first. So Shang Chi on mid is like actually a possibility. But if they are Cerebro, they'll just play there and balance it out and take away the power from the Juggernaut. Yeah, so that's not a good idea. Why you gotta be so happy about it? Are you just snapping because you think that I'm taking a long time to think? I think I have a good play. I'm just trying to figure out what the best play was. You have to play something on mid to be able to balance out the Juggernaut not having the buffs. And then you have to play something on left. And if you do that, even if you have both Cerebro and Mystique, you will not get enough mass buffs to be able to stop me. They're so fortunate that they had the armor to be able to prevent the Vormir sacrifice. Ooh. Let's go. So they pivoted away from the Cerebro, which I think was the right move, especially with their location being filled there with the Valkyrie. It's just the initiative was not in their favor to snap on that. Nebula on the vault, it just makes sense. With no Jean Grey here in opening hand, we'll have to see how well the deck can pilot away from its favorite play pattern. Maybe we'll be able to draw into her. Mojo World could still be a solid location for us. Do I want to develop the Angela, or do I just throw out Ham? I guess waiting on Ham, probably a little bit stronger of a play. We have nothing. We muscle up at the Mojo World, and this is the Mer Island. Well, you know where Jeff is going. Capability of being able to pivot that power elsewhere. I'm going to anticipate that they want to match Nebula, especially with the flexibility of the Nightcrawler. They might actually move the Nightcrawler right now to Mer Island so that he absorbs more buffs. Nightcrawler. Who's playing Nightcrawler right now? Cerebro 2s. Cerebro 2s does not exist anymore. Who else? Who else? Like a move package. Guys, it's very nice that they did not pull Nebula away. I love that for us. Kitty to be able to buff the Angela is just slightly better than playing to the island, and then I can drop Ham, and we are gassed. Absolutely gassed. Thank goodness we have the Kitty to be able to keep on dropping her in. Does the opponent care about Mer Island? Do they care about this, or do they feel like I'm so far ahead that they just leave off? Honestly, because as I said, we're gassed, we'll hold on to Star-Lord. Being able to score the Guardians is paramount. Paramount. And I was about to play him on left, so here we got the info. Probably don't do that. You're a Kingpin deck. But with this locking down, it's locked up in our favor. What do we see? We see Gamora. I play Kitty. I play Star-Lord. I could move the Jeff to be able to pick up the Mer Island buffs. This is true. This is a thing that is true. My next play is just going to be Kitty Gam. Filling up Mer Island is pretty important to us to be able to win that lane. They're looking to be able to throw Jug, win Mojo World by knocking my played card over to Mer Island, and then killing it with Kingpin, holding on to a lead over here. We killed their arrow, so that thwarts part of the consistency of their deck. I'm not going to move the Jeff. Just playing Kitty and Gamora on right final turn is going to be a little bit better. Use Spider-Man it now. JJ. I think the JJ is here because they run Storm Juggernaut as well. And JJ is just a good follow-up. Maybe not the best, but just a good enough. Alright, we got some catching up to do here, Gamora. It's all on you. After saying it was so important to score the Star-Lord, here he is, 3 power. Anyway, we got him down early enough to get a couple more island buffs. In hindsight, it would have been better just to move Jeff and let him grab more buffs, but I only have to make up 4 points. The Kitty does that, Gamora's thundering in for 12. Quite effective. Especially if the opponent gets baited into dropping a card over here to Mojo World. That's a significant overcommitment. What else could you play down here? What's a combo of cards that matches or exceeds my own power? I don't think there is one. Leader? There we go. I don't think it would run leader, but that might have been the win. Alright, chat. This is a great question. Does Echo have a slot in this deck? Just being able to set the Echo up in the same lane where you play the Jean Grey sounds like it could be really oppressive for the opponent. Trapped playing to the Jean Grey lane, but then also trapped into losing their ongoing effects. Could be very interesting to watch. We'll go Mojo here. Both players obviously want to race at the raft. Either I win and get the card, or I lose and then score Mojo. So, there we are. Or I play Jean Grey and we both lose? If I had a hand of cheaper cards, I might be able to still come back and then win the raft. I could also go ham on the raft. Sorry. And make sure that I win it. I feel like that's pretty important, and then I would be able to Jean Grey. Maybe the Jean Grey is actually enough control to make it challenging for the opponent to be able to beat me at the raft later on. Let's rush. Metal to the metal, baby. Devil D going down. Echo on Jean Grey. I think that this might answer that question of yes, it would be excellent. Par excellent. Angela Jean Grey final play, Nebula scaling up. I'm getting the big 6 cost. If you drop both cards down, that gives you a lot of flexibility to be able to counter Jean Grey by just playing the free cards. So maybe I don't snap. But I'm also killing your Hawk, so that's really nice. Yeah, with Devil Dinosaur out of commission and then Hawk going down here, this is a snap. This is a snap. Snap then into the late Jean Grey. Killing his Hawk will not prevent him from receiving the free card because he gets that as soon as he fills it, even before the card's revealed. Something I always have to remind myself. It's 7 points at least. Way better than the 2-point Galactus that you might have seen in later years. And if you play here, you still have to match my Mojo. Good luck matching my Mojo. And I get the Rock to be able to score on Washington. It's so perfect. What else does this Dino Hawk list run? He goes right into mid. Oh, he's going to play something big where he knows he's got the guarantee to win. Now, Collector. Ugh. I don't think he remembered what... Oh, hang on. He did plan it out. He did have it planned out. It's a good play. It's a good play. Lactus, you're the best shot I've got. Rock me, bride me. How does he win? You have Nick Fury. You're going to combo Nick Fury. Plus, you already showed Spectrum. So now you are chained to playing into the Jean Grey lane. Kitty, of course, the worst top deck for us. Anything, even a Rock would have been better. The fact that he already showed his hand with the Spectrum surprises me. Why wouldn't you hold on to that? I guess he could be expecting other... With Mojo, maybe hinting other location lockdown effects like Mojo Star-Lord is definitely telegraphing I play Spider-Man, but I play Jean Grey instead. Here comes. 12? 12? Oh! Oh, that was it. The Moon Girl. Wow. Man. The control from this deck is just disgusting. So here is the deck in all of its Guardian glory. I'm loving it, titling this deck the Grey Guardians. They really do punch up here. And so we are dropping Drax, and we're not running the Groot either, because they're just tempo plays. They're so far behind the other Guardians, and they're risky. Now, when you have Jean Grey, they're not really that risky, but we're not running any reactivations or other on-reveal synergies. If you guys have an idea of how to maybe increase the energy curve, I feel like we gas ourselves out in a number of situations. It'd be nice to be able to have maybe just a little bit more punch in the mid-game, but also in the mid-game I want to be flexible to be able to play around Jean Grey and still combo to other locations. If you guys have an idea of what might be able to level things out, you're going to have to let me know in the comments down below. Till next time, thank you guys for watching. Keep on snapping.